Today, I want to talk about why you should learn English if you think you're too old. Have you been told something like children can learn a second language better than adults, or you're too old to learn English? Then today, I want you to take notes of what I'm going to say because I'm going to tell you why you should learn English if you think you're too old. If we haven't met before, my name is Tanya. I am the creator and the founder of our She Speaks Fluency program for women. And I want to tell you four things about this topic. Now, the first thing is something I think you might have heard, but I want to remind you or tell you, if this is the first time you've heard it, that learning a second language is good for your brain. And if you are not sure about this, if you don't know about this, then I want you to take some time to do something that I know will be good for your English because it's going to give you the chance to practice. And that is, I want you to go online and find out a little bit about why learning a second language is good for your brain. You could do a search, you could talk to ChatGPT, and I'm going to recommend ChatGPT because you're going to do this in English. And ChatGPT is a great resource because if it tells you something or writes something to you that you don't understand, you can ask it to say it in a more simple way, or you can ask it to write it in a more simple way so that you understand. This is going to give you the opportunity to learn English while you're finding out about this. But I want you to just think of it this way. We all know that if we exercise, it makes our body stronger and healthier. And this is what you're doing when you're learning a second language. You're exercising your brain, you're making your brain healthier. All right, so I see a few people joining us live. If you're here live with me today, let me know if you've been here before or if this is a time that you have come back and where you're listening from. I know we often have people from all over the world, so I like to get to know you a little bit more before I go on to my second point here. I hear that I don't hear, I see that this is Rodrigo's first time. It's great to have you here, Rodrigo. Thank you for joining. We have people here from Paris, Russia, Poland, Spain, Guatemala, Mexico City, all over the world. I know Lourdes has been here before, Brazil. I think we have almost every continent. Roberta's here from Los Angeles. Roberta, is Los Angeles or California where you are originally from, or did you move there from another country? Turkey. Wow, we have great representation here today, meaning we have people representing or from all different countries. So I want to know what your questions are while you're listening to me live, or if you're listening to the recording. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments if you're here live or if you're listening to the recording so that we can get a deeper understanding of this topic, and also so that you're not only listening, you're participating in the conversation, which makes this video even better for you for learning English. Okay, number two might sound a little funny. This comes from my personal experience of learning my second language, which is Spanish. So, number two is it keeps you out of trouble. Learning a second language keeps you out of trouble. Now, why do you need this if you think you're too old to learn a language? Well, I'll tell you, for me, When I first got really serious about learning Spanish, I was turning 50. And a lot of people would have said 50 is too old to learn another language. I'm really glad I didn't listen to them because now I can hold a meaningful conversation in Spanish. And that was something that was important and exciting for me. But what do I mean? It keeps you out of trouble. So normally we use this phrase when we're talking about teenagers or kids or people who have who aren't making good choices. To stay out of trouble means they're not doing things that they shouldn't do, to not do bad things. So I'm not saying I was doing bad things, but at that time I had a lot of stress in my life. Now I know most of us can relate to this. Who doesn't or hasn't had stress? Nobody. Stress is a part of life, but learning how to cope with that stress, or in other words, to deal with that stress. I'm going to put these two collocations here: to cope with that stress or to deal with that stress. I'm using these synonymously right now. Means what can I do so that I can live with the stress in a way, in the most positive way possible. And in this case, for me, one of the things, and I think this is true for most of us with stress, an event happens and then that's over with, but we are thinking about it. We can't stop thinking about this stressful thing. What should I do? What can I do? What should I have done? How have I should have done that different. Oh my God, did I do the wrong thing? Did I make a mistake? These thoughts perpetuate the stress. They perpetuate the stress, or to use a phrasal verb, they keep the stress going. They make it continue. To keep it going, they make it continue because the thoughts keep us awake at night. Then we don't get enough sleep. Then we have more stress. Then we are focused on the stress. And it's difficult for us to do the things we need to do, like go to work, do our job, take care of ourselves, take care of our family, these things that are very important, and to find a balance in our life. So, how did learning a second language help me with this? Well, instead of thinking about things I couldn't do anything about, this is one of the things that causes worry. It's probably the biggest thing that causes worry is thinking about things we have no power over. We wish we had power over it. We wish we could do something about it, but we can't. So instead of doing that, I would focus on learning Spanish. And for me, since I'm a native English speaker, listening to something in Spanish takes all of my attention. And then I can spend time just doing what I can do with the stressful situation and not having all of these thoughts create stress. This was huge for me. This was really huge for me. And so, what I mean by it keeps you out of trouble, this is something kind of an idiom, not exactly. We use this phrase when we are saying to other people who we know are not going to do something bad. They're not on purpose going to do something bad. We'll say, stay out of trouble. It's just it's kind of a way to relate to another person and to, in a way to be fun, not exactly a joke, but a little bit jokingly towards other people. So it kept me out of trouble. It kept me from thinking and obsessing about things that I couldn't do anything about. Now, this is a huge topic, and I will say this is one of the most important topics. But I know that for you, you might be thinking, what? I don't understand. So If you don't understand, put a question in the comments. Let me know what you think about what creates stress, because a brain that has stress has a difficult time learning. If you have a lot of stress in your life, it makes it more difficult to learn. And that's why we want to reduce your stress as much as we can so that you can learn more easily and more quickly. All right, let's see what people are saying. One person who I can't read their name because it's in another language says, never ever, pardon me, never early, never late to learn foreign language. I would totally agree. It is a natural part of being a human. Um, Andre says, hello, teacher. It was a long time until today to see you again. I hope you are good. Thank you so much, Andre. I'm actually doing quite well. I had a rough couple of weeks ago. I have a video coming out on that soon, but I'm doing very well now, and I'm expecting some special company this week, so I'm very excited about that, and I'll be talking more about that too. All right, I don't see any questions yet. Let's take a look at number 3. No matter how old you are, learning English is going to give you more opportunities for work, for travel, and these are probably some of the most common reasons that people learn English is they want to travel, and they need it for their job now, or they want to change the type of work they do, and it will give them a lot more opportunities, whether you're looking to build your career or you're looking to retire now, you're looking to slow down, and you would just like to have a small job where you can keep busy, keep your brain active, and using English is definitely something that will help you to do this. So, this is the third reason why, no matter how old you are, even if you think you're too old, it's a really good idea to learn English. So, I want to talk about number 4, but before I do that, I want to tell you that learning English, looking at the reasons why we learn English, finding ways to have less stress, and finding out what is the best way to learn English is what I teach in my She Speaks fluency program for women. So that these women don't have to look for somebody to speak to. They don't have to worry about what to do or how to do it, because they can come and work with me on Zoom in person. So I would love to work with you if that is something you are interested in and you're a woman with an intermediate level, then I would love for you to sign up for the wait list for She Speaks. I will put the link below. And while you're waiting, I'll send you some information so that you can keep learning English as you go. And then when I open the doors, you will be one of the first people to sign up for the program. So let's look at number 4. This is a huge, huge reason if you have immigrated to an English speaking country, or you're thinking about immigrating to an English speaking country, or your children use the internet. And that's pretty much anyone. Your ability to talk with your children as they grow into adults and begin to interact with other people who speak English, and maybe even date those people, maybe even marry those people, and then you might have grandchildren who speak English. This is happening for a lot of people who thought, I don't need to learn English because at my work I don't use English. In my family, we speak my native language. But then, after years that they could have been learning English, they realize now I speak to my family and friends. And this is something that breaks my heart. So now is the time to start learning English so that you can get the first 3 benefits. And you can also have the chance to be able to speak to those people who are learning so much English from the internet, from their friends, from their work, from those kinds of things. All right. If you have any questions, I see that Dan asks, what question should I ask? This is a good question, Dan. What question should you ask? So I will say, since I don't see any other questions right now, I would like to tell you that I know you're all here because you want to learn English and you don't want to do it the wrong way. And maybe somebody told you that you were too old. So, if you want to have more information about this, I want you to watch the video I will put right here on the recording, or you can go to the description to see what to watch next. And if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments, and I will see you there. Thank you. Bye.